Welcome back to another episode of We Roguelike It. Sorry, there's like a delay between when I hit start recording and when the video records.
Yeah.
Welcome back to We Roguelike It. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Moonpir.
Hello.
We're going to talk about our fourth and final week of Hand of Fate. And then at the very end, we will announce what our next game is. We do have one question which I need to remember to talk about this week. I think it's based on our pre-show chat.
Yes.
Sounds like you played a bunch of this.
Yes, I did. I played way too much. I believe I was up to the third row, second in on the story mode. I've now completely wiped out the story mode 100%. It is done.
I'm jealous. I couldn't beat that last one.
Which is the last one?
The not the dealer, but the last guy in the card,
the King of Scales.
Card cabinet. Yeah,
the King of Scales, who is an absolute nightmare because he has like 6 minions and they are invincible while he is still alive.
Great.
Yep.
Thanks, Hand of Fate.
Yep. And
I couldn't even make it to him because of all the curses you're continually picking up.
Yeah, the take 4 steps, get cursed is kind of bad.
That's a real bad time.
Yeah, that would be a
How did you get through that level?
To be honest, it was a mixture of luck because the majority of the time, every time I pulled from the pain deck, I was getting loss of health or loss of gold.
Okay.
So it was one of those things where I was losing 10 health, but then within 2 steps, I'd got that 10 health back again.
Oh, you weren't losing max health, you were just losing current health.
Exactly.
Right.
So
that's much better, yeah.
It was a little bit of a luck of the draw situation for that, to be able to actually get through with that stuff. But also, I had the glorious Thunderstruck, or whatever it's called, axe, which is insane.
Which one's that one?
It's like a mace-looking thing, and I can't remember, it's like Thundering Strike or something. And it's a mace that has base damage of 30. But also it has the thunder element. And so it's not like where you're trying to beat up the lava golems with fire.
Right.
Everybody is kind of a little bit weaker against it. And its special ability is it fires a big ball of thunder on your current location and hits everybody who's near you.
Ooh.
So I was extremely lucky to end up having that there, which allowed me to do enough damage to the big guy to actually take him down and then take down all his minions. It also became a case of, because I think on that level, it's one of the ones where you have the do a counterattack and get punished.
Yeah.
As well, so I got real good at dodge rolling.
Right.
Real good.
Yeah.
I beat him in the end. I got a couple of good rewards from it. I was thinking, oh, that's good. Now all I've got left is endless mode. Oh,
endless mode.
Boy, was I wrong.
I tried a little bit of endless mode.
So, did you know that you faced the dealer at the end of it all?
No. There's a trophy, so it says like beat the dealer. I figured you fight him somewhere.
Once you beat the King of Scales, he is at the very, very top of the cabinet.
Of course he is.
He is a nightmare.
Oh, yeah.
Because to face again, when you go on his board, it's like 5 floors. You cannot get any blessings.
Oh,
You're cursed from the get-go with a you do not get blessings curse.
Okay.
And you get to him, and he summons 3 waves of 3 bosses.
Oh no!
For you to fight in one combat encounter.
Oh no!
So yeah, go ahead.
A boss rush in this game is just an unwaking nightmare.
Yeah, it really is. So you end up with the Jack, Queen, and King of what is it? I should know this. The Jack, Queen, King of Dust.
Okay.
Then the Jack, Queen, King of Death.
Oh no.
And then the Jack, Queen, King of Plague. Sorry, let me correct that. 4 boss waves. And then the Jack, Queen, King of Scales. So you have to fight every boss in the game, except they come at you in 3s.
Oh my god.
And let me tell you, that is not an easy battle.
No. Did you manage to beat him?
I did, because I broke it.
Okay.
I did not know this, but there's a couple of things you can unlock. So if you get the Midas Appetite Curse, it is a curse where it turns all of your food into gold, and you consume 5 gold instead of 1 food for every step that you take.
Okay.
If you have the Emergency Ring, when you die, you lose all of your food, but gain that back in health.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So, anytime I got to the boss and I beat the Dust trilogy, and that was I was down to like 12 health. It's like, okay, so now I've got the next set, and I'm never going to do this, so let's just give it the old college try. Turns out when you have Midas Appetite and the Emergency Ring, when you get to low health, it just refills your health.
Oh, wow. That's really good.
So you basically become invincible.
Wow.
You cannot die in combat, I should say, is
right.
The fix for that. At that point, I literally just did my best. It took me 3 full refreshes of my health to do it.
Jeez.
And then when I actually did some Googling after the fact, I was like, what happened? What did I do?
Why was I unkillable?
Yeah, apparently it's those 2 specific items combined cause that issue.
Wow.
Oh boy, let's see, what else? Because I have played a lot of this, and I beat the dealer. The dealer was hard. Very, very hard.
Yeah.
And now the only thing I have left is Endless Mode, so I give that one quick run. But let's talk about some more stuff I unlocked on the way to getting this far. I did the stupid deals with the little goblin looking things, not the devils. It might be the devil's deals. I don't know. The one where you give him 2 blessings and he gives you the token.
Oh, it's called like Devil's Trade, something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I got the final version of that card called Secret Society.
Oh, okay. I think that's another quest chain, because I think I started that, and was that the one where you go to talk to them, and it might be another one. You go talk to them, and they're like, hey man, you're going to provide us protection over the next couple of months?
No, that's the Druids, I think.
That's the Druids. Okay. Yeah. That's it.
The Druids one is really, really cool. Like, that storyline is actually pretty great.
Okay.
Quick side note, by beating King of Scales, you unlock the dagger, so now every time I go on one of the boards, there's little piles of gold on top of cards waiting for me when I go exploring.
Ooh.
So it does, beating the King of Scales helps a lot. But the Secret Society one, you go and knock on a door, and they will not let you in unless you have been sufficiently cursed.
Oh yeah, I never got to go in.
Yeah, you go in and you get a 1 in 4 chance of success to save your soul.
Oh boy.
And if you don't, it just kills you.
Well, that feels appropriate.
Yeah. So, that's fun. I completed the White Minotaur quest chain.
Yeah.
And got his final card, which when his final card appears, keep it in your deck, because for beating him, you get his mace. So,
ooh.
It's an ice mace that when you get to high combos, just fires ice blasts. So,
oh man,
definitely worth keeping that thing in.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else is there? There is some amazing items. I got the Helm of Clairvoyance, which I think was one of the mage quest lines, which shows you a failure card on a chance thing. It shows you which one is a failure card.
Oh man. So
combine that with the 2 draw blessing.
Yeah.
You'll be looking at some goodness right there.
Man.
like I said, I did do an endless run, and that thing gets hard real quick.
I made it to like floor 4 on a couple of different runs, because I gave it a couple of shots. I got to floor 3 and I'm like, I'm doing okay. For me, when I hit floor 4, and there's a trophy for beating floor 30.
Oh, great.
Yeah. I hit floor 4 and it is just a downward spiral of errors.
Oh no. So yeah, it looks like I've got a lot more Hand of Fate in front of me, but I'm not complaining, because at this point I'm trying to unlock the tokens, I'm up to the final blood auction one. Like, literally the final one.
Man.
It's like, I think it's like the auction 6. It's 60 blood, no matter how many times or what level I've been at when I've gone into it. And it's 1 in 4 again. 1 huge failure, 2 normal failures, and 1 success.
I never even got past the first one. I just kept getting normal failures.
Oh, actually, that reminds me. I finally got the Dark Carnival. I finally did it.
Oh, what happened?
You have to get 2 huge successes to get that token.
Yeah, I kept getting only 1, and then, like, the rest were normal successes.
Yep. So if you get 2, it gives you a very interesting thing. You free a guy, and it unlocks a different encounter, which I haven't done yet.
Okay.
At this point, I am now manually editing my deck, because on that King of Scales one particularly, I went in and deliberately changed all of my gear to only be the highest tier weapons I had, the highest tier armor I had.
Right.
No more of this, gubbing around for stuff. I deliberately picked a whole bunch of cards which were specifically designed to be challenging but give me higher end rewards at the end of it.
Right.
So like the ones that where the regular shop card, for example, if you go there's a really high chance that he might have a shop there, but he'll also say here's some food or here's a piece of equipment, depending on how you look.
Right.
I went in and I looked at every single ring I had, and if I didn't feel like the benefit was good enough, I'm taking that ring out and I'm putting new rings in. I'm doing my best to tease it in towards my direction. So the fact that I'm now editing my decks to do it myself tells you something. Especially that was necessary against the dealer, because I have a lot of cards which are my standbys because I know what I'm going to get from it. The lovers, if you accept the lovers card, if you accept that quest, they're going to give you a blessing.
Yeah.
That card is literally useless against the dealer because you cannot be blessed.
Right. So you can kick that right out of your deck.
Get that one out. Maybe bring in the metal ore and the old forge card. See if you can get yourself a really good weapon from that.
Those are good.
Yep. I did manage to translate the dragon parchment. So I've got.
I don't know if I even have that one.
It's the dragon gear quest line. So basically, by doing it, you unlock the dragon gear.
Okay.
But the parchment is 150 gold to translate it.
Whew.
So on my endless run, I set myself up to basically just have all of the gold I could in the hopes that I bump into it after I got 150. And I had like the Assassin's Greed gauntlets.
Right.
I love that name.
It's really good.
I got a whole bunch of other stuff that I eventually got that translated, and he's like, okay, now you just need to go to this place called the Caustic Geysers, which
it's a lovely place.
Yeah. So I'm in the middle of trying to do that. I think there's a couple of achievements I'm seeing which I'm thinking I'm just going to use endless mode to go for, like the skeleton skeleton stuff.
Like equip 10 ring, like have 10 rings on your character at once.
Oh, I already got the bling achievement.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I got that in my very first endless run because I was just like, give me 4 weapons, 4 helmets, give me 2 shields, which I like to use. Skeleton King shield, by the way, is incredible.
Real good.
And then give me all of the rest rings, because I don't care about those right bumper spell artifact things.
Yeah.
Give me every ring on the planet. So I literally just... I think I ended up with 15 rings. So at that point, I was like a teenager with them all dangling on a little strap around my neck kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I was getting like 25 to 50 gold after every single combat encounter. I was getting health. Every time I'd heal, I'd get both food and gold. So
unstoppable.
I was doing very well right up until the point where it kicked me in the teeth. Speaking of kicking me in the teeth, have you got the Delve into the Underworld card yet?
That doesn't ring a bell, no.
It's the red like lion's head looking quest line.
I might have unlocked the first one, but I don't know if I've run into it.
Basically, it says you need to go into the Underworld and defeat a bunch of enemies. And it says, but he's like, there's a token at stake, so you do the combat encounter, and then he puts the token back in his jar, And the description after you win the combat is, how many more layers are there? So I was thinking, okay, so I'll just keep going until I bump into it again and again and again, and then after a certain amount of times, I'll beat it. No, you have to go back onto the same card and do the combat encounter again.
Wow.
And then again. And then again. And that's how you beat that card, is go back onto it 4 times in the same thing. So get yourself a lot of food and a lot of health.
Yeah. That's pretty cool, though. I don't. There's not a lot of those cards that do that.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I'm learning more and more. If the card is still white, then there's still something to do with that card.
Right.
Like, shops tend to stay that way after you've been on them, just so you can...
they're still, like...
To them.
They didn't get grayed out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, this game is amazing. Like, truly amazing. I've only got, like, 5 achievements in it, and I'm still going to keep playing this thing, because I genuinely enjoy how much of a... It is a roguelike, but it feels very forgiving in its nature. Look, forgiving and not forgiving at the same time. That do what you can to beat the King of Scales, because that having the dagger, which is the reward for beating him, makes the biggest difference in the actual Endless mode, because your starting equipment is upgraded. Like, you get a fine sword instead of just a rusty or the rusty axe or whatever. On top of that, like, it feels like your movement speed and your damage, everything just feels so much more powerful when you have that relic. And getting like 50 to 100 gold every floor just because you're picking up the little gubbins littered around makes a huge difference.
Yeah, I think playing Hand of Fate again and getting deeper than I've gotten before, I think this is one of those roguelikes. I need to create a roguelike folder on my PS4, and like any roguelike that's going to stay there long term, like Isaac, Hand of Fate, Risk of Rain, all go in that folder, and they just never get deleted. You know, I'm looking for a palate cleanser. I'm looking to play something a little bit different, maybe between games, or I'm losing at some game time after time. I'll fire up Hand of Fate. You know, that's I really wish it was. I really wish there was a way it could come to mobile, because I feel like that would be a really great game to play on phone if there wasn't the hack and slash part. But
yeah, it's something
that's so important
my wife
to the
actually
game.
Said was she wishes it had a tablet version, because if you minus the third person combat, like if you take that out, the game would be an incredible like tablet game.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I love Hand of Fate. I'm glad we got the opportunity to play it again, and I'm hoping that Hand of Fate 2, after we play another couple games, I'm hoping Hand of Fate 2 comes up fairly quickly, because I never played it, and I really want to see what improvements they've made to it. Yeah.
How many Isaacs would you give it out of 10?
I don't know. I feel like Hand of Fate, it's probably one of my favorite roguelikes, even though it isn't necessarily combat focused. As weird as that sounds,
no, it's a really good spin on it.
Yeah, and I think taking the third person, Batman style combat, the Arkham combat, and combining that with cards building a dungeon and some of those persistent roguelike elements, and putting on top of that, like you said, the dagger, unlocking that, makes all of your runs so much better. There is that persistent improvement of your character and how the game plays, and I think combining all of those elements together is just... Hand of Fate's something really special, and I hope that more people... Every time we talk about it, I hope more people play it.
Yeah, to be honest, the thing that makes me laugh is this is more roguelike than stuff like Isaac, like Enter the Gungeon, because wasn't Rogue a text adventure?
Yeah, Rogue is... Yeah, it's an ASCII game, actually. So it's not... There's very little actual text, and it's... the dungeon is made up of characters. Your character is the @ symbol. It's that sort of stuff, so... Yeah. Yeah, it's Hand of Fate, I would agree, seems more like that, where Isaac feels more like a roguelike Zelda, almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. We do have a question here from T-Bomb Rocks in Discord. He says, any chance of a Patreon voted on or picked game for a segment of We Roguelike It? Absolutely. I feel like that's worked out really well for us in Game Club.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only hesitance I have now is similar to Game Club. I really want to solidify the format of We Roguelike It, because I'm sure it's going to change. I'm sure we're going to, from game to game, I'm sure we're going to change some stuff up as we figure out what we like and what we don't like, and what you guys like and don't like. But yeah, I think that'll be, probably a Patreon level at some point in the future. Probably this same level as the actual audio, but keep an eye on patreon.com/e1m1 if you'd like to get this episode and others early. Yeah, the ones are numbers. All right, let's talk about our next game. I think I mentioned it in the intro episode or episode 1. It's been a while, so let's talk about it again. Using a randomized list here, we have now 100 minus 2 games. If you're doing the math at home, it means 98. I have fed that into a randomized list, and I picked the first one that came up was actually the sequel to this game. So we agreed, let's start with the first game, like Hand of Fate. Start with the first game, and then the sequel will go back into the hopper for us to get picked later on. So our next game is going to be Sunless Sea. This came out on PC, OS X, PS4, and iPad. It doesn't appear to have come out on other things like that. We'll probably start with 4 weeks for this. That seems about the right amount of time for us, but tune in for more or less weeks of that.
Yep.
I know virtually nothing about Sunless Sea, but I've heard really good things.
Me too. I haven't heard good things. I literally know nothing about this game. I think this might have been one of those ones that I literally Googled a whole bunch of roguelikes, and when I was putting the spreadsheet together originally, just like, it's got roguelike in the title, or roguelite. It's in the list. We'll see.
Yeah, Google search list of roguelikes.
Yep.
Yeah, so Sunless Sea is going to be our next one. You'll be playing it for a while. I know there's an expansion called, like, Submariner, something like that.
That's pretty good.
I don't have that, so we might talk about that, we might not talk about that, I'm not sure. But at the very least, we'll talk about the base game of Sunless Sea. This cat is too funny. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. We'll see you all next time.
Bye.